my name is Christina Shala, and welcome to another episode of Empowering the Educator Within. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at strategies for teaching conversational English to beginner ELL students. Before getting into the different strategies, what is conversational? As mentioned in a prior video, conversational English sort of covers a broad spectrum of vocabulary, words, and phrases. To start with, probably the easiest and fastest way that you can get your beginner ELL students communicating with others in the class would be to provide them with sets of flashcards with words and the pictures included as well, that they can carry around with them so that during lunch, recess, or during gym class, they sort of have a starting point to communicate with others. And these flashcards can include words like playground, they can include food items, maybe gym equipment like football and soccer ball, even having simple phrases like, "Can I join you?" or "Would you like to play with me?" That they could refer to and just sort of, point to the picture and show other students and get started that way in communicating and making other friends in the class. Another great way to help your beginner ELL students start practicing some English conversation would be to provide them with just a short script with some, different ways to say greetings, ask someone, "How are you?" Some different ways of saying goodbye, and then put them with partner and have them practice the script. And in doing that, it sort of gives them something to start them off with to interact with others in the class that's maybe a little bit less intimidating than just going up to somebody on their own and trying to do it without a script. Some great resources that you can use to help your beginner ELL students practice some conversational English and learn some conversational English would be apps like Duolingo or Dinolingo. Also, if you want to create some simple phrases for them to practice using an app like Quizzes or Quizlet, you can also do that. Not only can they practice by looking at the flashcards, but you can add audio for them as well so they can listen to the pronunciation. You can also find printouts on a site like Teachers Pay Teachers. Mind you, you have to pay for a lot of the resources there, but if you're looking for some free activities that your beginners could do, you could try ISL Collective. And also my website, shalabooks.com, has a series of audio ebooks that are free to use that are perfect for your upper elementary or middle school students to use. Once you get to know your beginner ELL student or students a little bit better and you find out where their interests lie, you can encourage them to join clubs or teams at your school where they can start practicing some of that conversational English in kind of a more relaxed and social setting, just to help them, kind of get out there and start making some friends. Another strategy to use to help your beginner ELLs in making friends and starting to practice some of that conversational English is being mindful of where they're seated. So pairing them up or putting them in a group with students who are more likely to make that effort to try speaking with them and engaging with them. Also, you may have a situation where there are other students in the class who speak the same native language as your beginner ELL, and so putting them in the same group is also a great way to help them in getting started socially in the class. So all the strategies that I've talked about up until this point sort of focus on conversational English in the classroom and at school, But as mentioned, conversational English does cover a broad spectrum of vocabulary that you just can't cover during class time. But you can provide parents with a handout and sort of list different things that they can do for their child to help them cover some of that language that you aren't able to. So in this handout, you can provide them things like English classes that might be available in your area. You could give them a list of some tutors, whether they're in person or online, that the parents could contact. You can also give them a list of some online resources like Duolingo and Dinolingo that the students could log on to at home and get some extra conversational practice in that way. You can also give them some reading or writing materials to take home that are appropriate for their level. You can ask parents to encourage play dates with other students in the class, just so they can get some extra practice outside of school. You can also give parents a list of some activities that are after school that might be provided by your community and not necessarily through your school that you think the students might be interested in joining. And lastly, you can also give them tips like watching movies in English or TV in English or listening to music in English and having the subtitles show in their native language or vice versa. And so in giving parents a handout and sort of a starting point for them to help their child, you would be able to cover some of that additional language. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Empowering the Educator Within. Tune in next time to learn tips for teaching academic language to your intermediate and advanced ELL students.